Hey guys, Techie Times is back and back with some new videos. So today we're looking at two videos where we see how do you configure NAT on Cisco routers. NAT means Network Address Translation. So what is it? No doubt we're going to cover a lot of theory, but for now some basics. As you know, addresses in your LAN, or you may say addresses in your office and your home network, are private IPs, and internet is public network, or you may say internet has public IPs. So now, how can a private IP communicate with a public IP? In simple words, how can a private IP talk to a public IP? Solution is NATing. Where do you configure NATing? On your boundary device, or you may say on your gateway device, which may be a router or a firewall. In the later videos, we'll also learn how do you configure NATing on firewall, but for now it's a router. So a very simple topology that you can see, three routers, namely R1, R2 and R3, out of which R1 is the router within your LAN and R3 is the router on the WAN, which may be the ISP or the service provider. So what is R2 now? R2 is the boundary device or the gateway device that is connecting LAN to the WAN. So now on R2 we configure static NAT. What do you mean by static NAT? Static, the word static means manual, or you may say static means fixed. So what do we do in static NAT? We give a fixed public IP to each device. You give a fixed public IP to each device when it tries to go out of your network. That means a private IP from your LAN. A private IP from your LAN will be given a fixed public IP whenever it tries to go on the WAN, or you may say whenever it tries to go on the internet. For example, 192.168.1.1 may be given 200.0.0.10, 192.168.1.2 may be given 200.0.0.11, and so on. That means for each device you have a dedicated public IP. So now, how do we do this? As you can see in the topology, R1 has the IP address 192.168.1.1. R2 has two IPs. On the LAN, it has 192.168.1.2, and on the WAN, it has 200.0.0.2, which is a public IP. And R3 has 200.0.0.1. So now, since these are routers and you need to achieve end-to-end visibility or end-to-end connectivity, I have simply configured static routes on router R1 and R3. No doubt, you can also configure any routing protocol that we have learned in the previous videos like EIGRP and OSPF. But for now, in my case, these are static routes. For example, I have configured on R1 saying that IP route 0.0.0.0, 0.0.0.0. That means any IP and any mask. So wherever you want to go, your next hop will be 192.168.1.2, which is R2. That means the gateway device. And in the same way on R3, you want to go anywhere to any IP and any mask, your next hop is 200.0.0.2, which is R2. So after configuring static route, can R3 reach R1? Yes, it can. As you can see, it can. Now, so the time has come to configure static NAT on R2, which is your gateway device. So what are the commands? You say IP NAT inside source static. That means you want to perform a static NAT for which device? Device whose IP is 192.168.1.1. and you want to translate it into 200.0.0.10. Now R2 has two interfaces, which is 0/0, which is the LAN interface. So you need to say IP NAT inside. Inside means it is the inside interface, which means the LAN. Also, it has another interface, which is 0/1, on which you will have to say that this interface is the outside interface, that means the WAN. Okay. Once when this is done, now let's check, can R1 reach the outside world? Can it ping R3? And as you know, R3 is 200.0.0.1. So can R1 reach R3? The answer is yes, it can. And now if you go on R2 and check what is the monitoring command, it's show IP NAT translations. So it will show you that yes, 192.168.1.1 is getting translated to 200.0.0.10 while going out. Now you'll wonder why three addresses have been mentioned, because as you can see here, I have tried to ping 3 times after configuring NAT. So it shows basically the number of hit counts. That means how many times have this IP been translated. So a very simple video, configuration along with the verification, which teaches you how to configure static NAT. In the next video, we'll learn how do you configure dynamic NAT on Cisco routers. Till then, stay on, hit the like button, subscribe, and just wait for some time. We'll be back with some new videos. Thanks a lot.